of Xplay starts now.
Today on Xplay.
It's an army of red giants!
Today on Xplay. Legendary heroes. Lawrence v. Texas hits a console, and the king of ground meat. Second guess the concept of viral marketing. It's game time.
Let's make out.
Prepare to be reviewed.
Adam Sessler. Morgan Webb.
Prepare to be reviewed.
Prepare to be reviewed. This is Xplay.
Hello and welcome to Xplay, a cancer on American culture.
And like any cancer, we just keep growing on you, don't we?
Today we will earn your resigned acceptance with our review of Konductria, a puzzle game for, guess which console? Yeah, the DS, because there really aren't already a billion DS puzzle games. And we will give you a first look at Harker, a vampire hunting game that's guaranteed Allison Hannigan free. Later in the show, we've got the games Burger King is selling. Why? Because we just can't resist that creepy king mask.
We begin with a game from a franchise that dates all the way back to the 1980s, a time when spandex and Corbin Burnson ruled the earth, and Tyne Daly's sexual appeal was so strong, no man or woman could resist it. It was a legendary time, a fitting origin for The Legend of Heroes 3, Song of the Ocean.
We've seen a lot of things in the Xplay bunkers. We've seen warriors, we've seen wanderers, we've seen ninjas, we've seen pirates, we've seen freaking overlords.
I'm a freaking overlord, you idiot!
But this might be the first time we've seen minstrels. Those smelly, grimy minstrels. Yes, the minstrels have taken over the world of RPGs, or more specifically, the Legend of Heroes series. This time, it's Legend of Heroes 3, Song of the Ocean. And it just might be the most pointless sequel since Willis and Perry reteamed for the whole 10 yards back in the year Who Gives a Crap. If you've hung out with the Legend of Heroes, this Song of the Ocean is more of the same. A young boy, the girl who loves him, in a pure way, not in a rampaging astronaut way. Our sarcastic grandfather. And the music, the styling so mellow, Sting has to be jealous. So yada yada yada, they go on a journey together. The story is laid out in this opening cutscene, which must be very classy because there's a bird flying around. But classy does not mean fun. Is it fun to run around the same places over and over again? Talking to the same people over and over again? And the battles? Well, let's talk about the battles. Nothing that hasn't been seen before, and fairly repetitive. I mean, once you fought one monkey, you fought them all. And once you fought them all, you don't want to fight anymore. Word of advice to the people behind Legend of Heroes series. When the gamer chooses not to fight instead of fighting, you've got a problem. And no loot music is going to save you. Music is important to the characters in this game. They all think they have a big shot at fame, so they band their musical passions together in one big mellow supergroup.
It was absolutely horrible.
If only the music had a little more oomph. Ah, that's better. What can we say about a completely derivative RPG game? Well, it sounds all right. Doesn't look too bad. The music is pleasant enough.
Whatever sparkle you had, you've left it behind.
There will probably be a Legend of Heroes 4 game. That's just the way it's done these days. We hope it'll have a better script, better characters, better action. But somehow we doubt it. But there are dogs, so bow, wow, wow, yippee, yo, yippee, yah to you all. We give Legend of Heroes 3, Song of the Ocean for the PSP, a lowly 2 out of 5.
My primary fear with The Legend of Heroes 3, Song of the Ocean, was that the song in question would be that one Celine Dion sang in Titanic. Fortunately, they didn't have the money to license it. But enough about that. It's time to talk about something truly important. Back in 2005, we explored the world's most pressing issue. No, not Iraq, not global warming. We're talking about gays in video games. Our last investigative report uncovered portrayals both positive and negative. Well, mostly negative. Have things gotten any better? Let's have a look in our latest edition of Gay Games. When it comes to homosexual characters in video games, 2006 was truly a gay old time.
You're scaring me!
If only Tingle had made it into Twilight Princess, we're sure he'd be celebrating.
Wow!
Final Fantasy XII offered up another predictable round of nubile young men.
What do you think?
You already know what we're thinking. And yes, Tails is still really, really gay. But let's face it, those ones are expected. Other games from 2006 introduced some truly out-of-the-closet characters. In Enchanted Arms for the Xbox 360, your best buddy Toya has a doting boyfriend named Mikado.
What are you, his legal guardian or something?
Legal guardian? Of course not. I'm his disciple of love.
Mikado doesn't leave Toya's side for a second. In fact, it sometimes feels like you're part of a bizarre love triangle.
If anything happens to Toya, I'll hold you responsible.
On the plus side, Mikado's a controllable character. His attack? Gay jazz saxophone.
Love for all!
Penny G will be so proud. The downside is that Mikado is portrayed as a cringe-inducing stereotype.
Listen to yourself.
No, listen to yourself. You sound like Bronson Pinchot in Beverly Hills Cop.
Thrilling to see you in action.
But that performance seems positive compared with the all-out homophobic assault of Godhand.
Come on, those guys are cake.
Not to mention, much sexier than you.
The game is loaded with suggestive dialogue, but nothing is as disturbing as the game's ugly, outdated stereotypes. About 1/3 of the way through the game, you run into these two enemies.
Hey! Sweetie! You're not going anywhere until you answer our quiz question! He's such a sexy man!
Of course, since they're gay, they inherently must be evil, and it's up to you to lay the smackdown. Yeah, that's a great message for the game's young male audience. Seriously, Capcom, limp-wristed bad guys? Sweet! No, not sweet. The one ray of light in 2006's collection of games came from an unlikely source, Rockstar, maker of Bully.
You have a funny way of showing friendship.
In this schoolyard romp, your character can choose to woo the ladies
That was cool.
or track down one of 4 male students who will gladly reciprocate your advances.
I'm hot. You're incredible. Hot. Come here. Let's make out. This is just like one of those romance movies.
Oh, young love.
Look in my eyes for a sec.
Seriously though, we're happy to see that a video game can portray gay characters without turning them into mincing stereotypes or deviant bad guys. Maybe there is hope after all for gay games.
I'm a totally awesome kisser, right?
Finally, a video game that allows you to make out with hunky high school boys. It's like a Mark Foley congressional page simulator. We here at Xplay scour the globe to bring you only the best investigative reporting, but we can't be everywhere at once. So if we've missed anything like a male-on-male kissing, Yu-Gi-Oh! The Sacred Cards, or Peach and Daisy riding tandem in Mario Kart, please write to Xplay at g4tv.com and let us know. Remember, we all have the power to change the world, just not in any real meaningful way. Only as it pertains to civil rights for homosexual video game characters.
Coming up, a first look at Harker on Xplay.
It's a new thing for me. I mean, I've played Nintendo, I've played Xbox, but there are all these connections and cords. I mean, a plug for the outlet, 6, 7 ports in the back, now Ethernet for online. But my iBox doesn't have any cords, wires, or cables. It has iPorts, which invisibly connect to every electronic device in the home. I haven't left my house in 13 days.
I can read your lips.
I didn't say anything.
Don't lie to me. You know how I hate that.
So you've got the hottest cell phone, now you need the hottest games and ringtones.
Weeknights at 7 and 11 on G4.
She dislikes gravel. It's Morgan Webb.
Welcome back to Xplay. Now, in 1897, an Irish civil servant named Bram Stoker wrote Dracula, and with it, he turned an Eastern European superstition into a staple of fantasy horror. Now, some 150 years later, Anne Rice would again bring vampires to prominence, this time to teenage bisexuals who feel alienated and alone. And do you know what Anne Rice's birth name was? Howard Allen O'Brien, which goes to prove my point. The Irish are all vampires, and apparently Anne Rice is a male-to-female transsexual. But if you love vampires, or, just cutting yourself, here's our first look at Harker.
It's interesting the way classic, respectable literature gave us two of our most enduring monster types, Dracula and Frankenstein.
But nobody has ever written the great American mummy novel.
Maybe a nice coming-of-age story about a wolfman, or a Steinbeckian story about emotional futility centering on a swamp thing.
That would be nice.
Up next, Conductora on Xplay. Dignity is for babies, not Adam Sessler.
We get a lot of DS puzzle games, a lot. And with all that practice, we've gotten to the point that we can now review a DS puzzle game in precisely the time it takes to perfectly soft boil an egg. So, if you got water boiling, toss in an egg, make some toast, and watch this review of Konductria.
And now it's time for another episode of The DS Brothers. Tonight's episode, Konductria. Hey, bro. Hey, bro. How you living? Large and in charge, bro Seth, large and in charge. So, what's the game tonight? A little thing called Konductria. Konductria? Yes, Konductria. Are you friggin' deaf? It's another one of them puzzle games. Oh, you mean like Luminous, Luminous 2, Every Extend Extra, Luxor, Magnetica, Johnny Mosley Matrix, that sort of thing?
What if it snowed in San Francisco?
Pretty much, but this time, it's different. Different how? Well, Toppy, you have to connect blocks of like-minded colors between two conduction points on the grid. That sounds way too confusing for a puzzle game. It sure does.
And what's even worse is that this game don't come easy. It takes a while to master it. Oh, I bet it's stylus heavy, isn't it? You got that right, Playboy. Conductora seems kind of slow-moving. Takes one to know one. Clever, but really, it's not visually interesting at all. Nope, not on any level. I bet it looks real boring on television. Yep. Well, let's just watch quietly for a moment. Maybe something exciting will happen. Yep, this is pretty painful. So, did you see that movie, The Queen? It was all right, but I was misled. How so? I thought it was about Freddie Mercury. Hey, remember when Adam Sessler dressed up like Freddie Mercury on Xplay? I'm champion of the world! Sure, that was for another puzzle game, Mercury Meltdown. Crazy times, huh? So, have you seen the modes in Conductora? Well, it's all the basics, versus, time trials, puzzles. This game reminds me of your sex life, completely below average. That doesn't even make sense. You know what else doesn't make sense? What? This. Hey, wasn't Conductora one of Daredevil's villains? No, that was Bullseye. Wasn't Bullseye in Alexander? Yes, but you're getting off topic. So, Conductora is boring me. Let's give it a 3 out of 5. Let's go and play Mario Kart or something fun. Yeah, bye. I'm naming my firstborn child Conductora, male or female, because that way I know he or she would definitely end up either a classical music-themed supervillain or a drag queen.
Well, I'm naming my firstborn child after Gerald Ford. It's the least I can do to pay him back for the glorious summer country that was America between 75 and 77.
In a moment, Burger King really shouldn't be making video games on Xplay.
The ultimate test of strength, agility, and courage.
Here on G4.
They miss Molly Ivan. It's Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb.
Welcome back to Xplay. In the course of video game history, there have been mistakes.
The Virtual Boy, the Jaguar, the PSP.
But probably the greatest mistakes have always been games produced by companies that shouldn't produce games.
The Chuck Wagon dog food game for the Atari, anyone?
Yes, and yet another apostasy has come in our time. This one with 3 different incarnations.
In direct parody of the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, just like Revelation predicted.
Here's our review of the new Burger King games.
Well, I haven't read the Book of Revelations in a while. I'm pretty sure that somewhere after the third horseman and just before the moon turns blood red, that there would be the coming of a game that would lead the world into chaos, anarchy, and death. As it turns out, there are 3 games that have shown themselves as harbingers of the apocalypse, and the pale horse has a rider with 1 face. Pray for a quick death, because the end is nigh and Burger King is leading the way. The first game of the Armageddon is Sneak King. Imagine if Sam Fisher really did go rogue and decided to terrorize America. Sneak King would be the strategy he would use. Enter an unsuspecting suburb, sneak up on people, and offer them horribly unhealthy foods that over time will kill them. Oh, and do a little dance. Remember when you were little and you jumped into your bumper car, but you got stuck in the corner because the car didn't work properly? And then, just before you could have the pleasure of giving your little brother whiplash, they shut down the power for the next group of carnival goers to have a turn, leaving you with a feeling of amazing disappointment. That's what the game Big Bumpin' is like. When the loading screen is longer than the actual game, you have to ask yourself if it's worth the effort. But I guess if you're really desperate, there's the multiplayer mode, which lets you share the misery with a friend. In Pocket Bike Racer, the final horseman of the apocalypse has traded in his steed for a very small bike. You'll race around various locations in a Mario Kart-style race, minus all the fun of Mario Kart. Physics are often glitchy, and the courses can get boring quickly, but it is the best of the bunch. Look, everyone knows these games aren't good. They're quick gimmick to make a buck and advertise Burger King. So if we're gonna be promoting fast food on the show, let's take a look at exactly what the king is shilling. 760 calories in 1 Whopper with cheese, and 47 grams of fat. Or how about the chicken tenders? Only 780 calories with 43 grams of fat and 4 grams of heart disease-producing trans fats. Can you say delicious? Maybe you want to go healthy and have a salad. The tender, crisp chicken garden salad with honey mustard dressing only has 670 calories and 44 grams of fat. But enough with the numbers. Anyone eating Burger King should know by now that the food is garbage, and so are these games. Sneak King gets a 1, Big Bumpin gets a 2, and Pocket Bike Racer gets a 3 out of 5. I'm bored.
Me too. Hey, I know a fun way to kill some time. Oh wait, it's an Xplay replay.
Yay! Legend of Heroes got a 2 out of 5 because it's boring and just another Japanese RPG.
Conductora got a 3 out of 5 for its quality puzzle mechanics, but strange rules.
Burger King Big Bumpin got a 2 out of 5. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, Pocket Racer got a 3 out of 5. And
Sneak King gets a 1.
Burger King can barely produce food, let alone games. Yes. All right, while we're talking creepy, let's get us some video viewer mail.
Okay.
Hi, Adam, Morgan. My name is Edwin, and I'm from Puerto Rico. My question is, I've heard rumors on the internet that Metal Gear 4 might come for the 360. Is that true? That's kind of the reason why I've been holding out on the PS3. And if I knew that it'd be coming for the 360, I might just stick with my 360. Thank you.
Well, that's only speculative. A lot of classically sounding titles have been jumping ship with the 360, or at least releasing versions at the same time.
Grand Theft Auto is the big example, but while we don't know anything specifically about the Metal Gear Solid series, it seems like this may be more than just rumors.
And why even Memoirs of the Geisha poster, whatever that's called? That movie sucked.
Ultraviolet, not much better.
Yes.
But the suckage doesn't stop with that, because another episode of Xplay starts right now.
Ooh.
Today on Xplay.
Hey, Appa,